I met my first husband and boom, like big fell in love. It was like a foregone conclusion. Oh my God. Like I was so in love. And then he left me.
Welcome to Should We Get Married?
My name is Emily Carter.
My name is Maxson and Emily.
And in this podcast, we're trying to figure out if we should get legally married to each other.
Or stay dating forever.
What's up with people playing it so cool these days?
Today's guest is actress, writer, and good friend Isabel Gillies. She tells us the story of how her first husband fell in love with someone else while they were married, then getting divorced, and what it's like to be in love again and in a new marriage of 18 years.
Let's get into it. Okay, so Emily, what stuff stood out to you from this conversation?
One, that marriage doesn't protect you from separation. Two, that you should expect to meet more soulmates, sometimes many, even after you get married to a soulmate. And that before marrying anyone, you should go on like a big stressful trip to sort of understand each other in a different context.
Over the years we've been together, Emily, which is over 4 years at this point, do you think that you've met other soulmates while you were with me?
Let's let the audience listen for that in the actual conversation.
Okay. Isabel's just great. Everything she says is very wise, and she's got such a cool attitude. I would say one of the big things I'm excited for the audience to hear is the way she pronounces spigot, aka the thing that you twist to make water come out of a hose.
All right. On that note, here's our conversation with actress, writer, and friend Isabel Gillies.
Thank you, Isabel. So maybe a good place to start off is tell us about Isabel. What are the kinds of things someone should know about you to feel like they know you?
My name is Isabel Gillies, and I grew up in New York City. And I guess in the context of the podcast, I grew up and always wanted to get married from when I was little. I met my first husband and boom, like big fell in love. It was like a foregone conclusion.
How did you guys meet? What was the situation and how old were you?
So we met when we were little, but then we re-met at his sister's wedding when I was 27. And we got married in 99. So I was 29 when I got married.
Mm-hmm.
So you dated for like 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, got married.
Was he older than you?
By 1 year. I think both of us probably now, 20-something years later, would be like, that was a pretty big red flag for both of us.
Meaning having such a intense love?
No, not having the love, but getting married.
Getting married after 2 years?
That seemed like appropriate.
All right, so you guys meet at the wedding, and then, wow, we got hit by lightning. Some weird act of God happened. There's a phenomenon of nature. Tell us about that.
I remember seeing him and being like, oh my God, I was so in love. I think biologically, I'm sure you'll have some doctor on that will tell you it's some hormone.
Mm-hmm.
You're just everything. I want to inhale you. I remember inhaling the breath of the other person, just and having that breath go into my lungs and go out. Like, how can I be closer to you? How can I be like, I just want to be both my husbands.
This is why I love when Emily doesn't wear deodorant.
Yes. So then we went to Ohio. He taught at Oberlin College, and then he left me. I want to tell this story so that there's two sides of it, and I'm sure that he has his reasons for leaving me. I think he fell in love with someone else, that he eventually got married to that person. But in any case, he left the marriage. I took our 2 little children and went back and lived with my parents in the apartment that I grew up in at age 34. I really didn't think he'd ever leave me. I just didn't.
What did you know about him falling in love? Like, how were you clued into it? Was he saying, hey, this is happening?
Oh, no, I could just see it. We were in this tiny little town, in a college town, and I just vibed it. She was my friend and our friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like watching a teenager to me. That's how it felt.
Did you talk about it while it was happening?
Oh, yeah. I was like, are
Oh
you
my God.
in love with this person? Now, here's the thing. I was like, because if you are, that's okay. We can like take a semester and go to Bologna, and you can like get your shit together, and we'll look at this thing. We just bought a house. I had a job there. And I was like, it's going to be a total fucking mess if you do this. If you break up this marriage, it's like, we don't have any money. So that means all of our little tiny money is going to have to be split in 2, which is going to suck. We've got 2 babies that then, like, I'm a single mother. how's this going to work? Because we're in a tiny town in Ohio that you took me to. I'm a New Yorker. And at that time, I was on a national television show.
What show?
I was on Law and Order.
So you left your like epic career and New York City and all of your friends to go to wherever Oberlin is.
Ohio.
Yes.
But then it sounds like you talked about all these things. It's going to be a frigulation to do split the money in half. We already bought it. We just bought a house. We have these 2 kids. What was his response to these things?
He was like, it's beyond my control. I can't. I don't want to do this. I can't do it. I cannot be married to you anymore. I don't love you and I can't be married to you. And by the way, the divorce, I had to go back to Ohio and the judge was standing up on a high platform and he was so judgmental. He was just like, this is very serious. I was like, I'm so sorry. I felt like I'd failed.
Wait, what did your ex-husband say? It's his fault.
He felt bad too. We cried in the parking lot.
Oh, fuck.
We cried in the parking lot.
I keep feeling as you're telling your story, Isabel, this is probably how Emily and I would do it also. If I watched Emily like fall in love with a coworker or something, I'd be like, yo, we should probably go to Bologna and have a little staycation with each other and figure our shit out. Like, it doesn't sound like you guys were not talking about it. You guys were talking about it. You were completely in love. You're talking about what's going on.
I wonder, can I ask a question right away? Because my first question with this, when you guys were asking this, was like, this was like maybe a year ago or a while ago that I first learned of this. I was like, why are they asking this? And you're the age where people get married, pretty much. So why aren't they just going with the flow and like they love each other so much and the sex is good and the laughing's good? Like, get married. Who cares? So why are they asking the question?
I've thought about this a lot. Yeah, I didn't grow up with TV, and my parents were very like anti-media, so I didn't have a visual in my head, and I didn't go to a wedding until I was probably a teenager. So there was like didn't have a vision of what that looked like. And I think my mom was quite masculine in a lot of ways, like made an effort to like not cook or clean in front of us or do things that were like feminine to prove that we could be anything and do anything. And so there was just not a lot of like leaning into like femininity or fairy tale, either in the media I was consuming or the way that they were interacting.
Right.
In terms of why this is such a top of mind question for me, I'm like a question everything person. I don't like doing stuff that other people do to a huge fault. I'm like, there's something we got to figure out here. Everyone's doing this thing, and if everyone's doing it, it's probably uncool or it's insidious in some way. I don't know. It's weird. It's super weird.
I'll put something forth, which is that I actually don't think that there's any wrong answer. I just don't think there's a way to go wrong. And I think that's true of getting married, having a baby, having a sandwich. I just think that the right thing is what you're going to do. That will be the right thing. So there's sort of relief in that. And I had a lot to learn. His complaints about me in the marriage were correct. Like, I had a lot of work to do on my own. I didn't quite know that until later. My father said, this brilliant man, I called him and I was like, oh, the sales is leaving me. And he was like, so come home. He wasn't like, that bastard. Or he's like, shit happens.
Yeah.
So I went back home and had these 2 little kids and lived with my parents and like hook or by crook, got my shit together, got back on Law and Order. And then I got married again.
Did he make the right choice or the wrong choice? You know, if you're thinking about your ex, like
I don't know if it's right or wrong. I've had that with a number of people. Great, huge, big falling in loves. And what my father said was, don't make the mistake of thinking that there's one soulmate for you, because there's like a handful and you meet some before, then you get married, if you get married, and then you'll meet a couple after. But because you're married, he said to me, you don't pursue those people because you're married.
But they are legitimate soulmates, you're saying.
Sure. Because
just as in love with them as you would be with someone else.
Yeah. How could it be that there's one? It just doesn't even make sense. To me, the thinking that there are a lot of people on this beautiful planet that I could be soulmates with is sort of comforting.
Yeah. Was it just as likely to happen to you as it was to him? And by luck of the draw, it happened to him?
I think I have a spigot. I have a serious spigot.
What's a spigot?
It's like if I'm eating cookies, I just have something eventually that my body goes, that's enough. No more.
I understand.
When I don't drink anymore, but when I did, I'd get to midway through a glass of wine and be like, that's enough. Like I just have
I have this too. Yeah.
I don't know if you should get married or not, but I do know that you should work on yourself just relentlessly. Learn to love yourself more because that's just going to be great for whatever, if you're married or not married, your relationships.
Is there anything you guys could have done differently to prevent yourselves from getting divorced?
I don't know. I just don't know. One of the best phrases that I ever have is I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of people who are tracking this project at one point also were married and they're in the middle of going through divorce, or they've gone through divorce, or they're thinking about maybe getting a divorce. Do you have advice for people about divorce? And is there a light at the end of the tunnel? What's your take on the separation?
There's this question, what if I were okay with it? I think if divorce is happening to you, like, what if I were okay with it is a good question because it's happening. So, like, how am I going to get through this? My ex-father-in-law, God rest his soul, said, divorce, everybody loses. You're not going to get the money that you think you should. It's like everything's like just, it's a lose. Just don't hurt each other and get out of it. Like this, whatever the uncoupling thing is, if you can just be tender with each other and be like, presume goodwill and try and get yourself, your beautiful self that you only have you out of it in one piece, that would be my advice. You know, because lawyers get involved and then it's all awful. So also saying, is this in my best interest to really go nine rounds? Or can I just say, you know what, take the AirPods case. Beautiful. Like, go with God, be generous and be good to each other and try not to get so embattled. That would be my thing because this is your one life. It's time consuming to be embattled.
Mm-hmm.
You're friends with your ex?
Oh, yes. Oh, for certainly. And also when you have kids, it's like something bummer is happening with the divorce, but then at the same time, like your kid falls down. So you're like, oh, look, he got that scar. So all the divorce is gone and you're just dealing with the most important thing, which are the kids.
I'm imagining someone listening being like, I'm so scared this is going to happen to me. Are there things that you can do to like stress test a relationship or pressure test and like be in a situation that's stressful and see how someone responds? Or yeah.
I think kids in your generation do this more, but like travel together, because my mother, that was her advice to me, like travel before you get married because you find things out about the other person. Like she traveled with this guy she was engaged to, and it was revealed that he did not think about like generosity and money in the same way, or just resources, maybe not money, but resources.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you find that out?
Okay, so they were going to go on a boat. I guess they had traveled and they were going to go sailing or something. And he asked her to go get some supplies, and she did. And she went and got a full-size mayonnaise and ketchup and just like condiments, but a big size and not like a little size. And he was like, what? Why did you do that? Like, we're just going for 3 days and you bought a whole thing? Like, that's such a waste of everything. And she was like, are you getting angry at me for that? She was like, no. And so she thought that this person was like revealing themselves to be cheap. And that was not her, having nothing to do with money. That was just not how she wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
So she's ended that engagement. She broke it off.
Oh, fuck.
How long do you have to are you giving yourself a time limit on this? Are you suddenly going to propose to each other? Like, what's going to happen?
We got to do our homework. We're doing our homework.
For how long?
As long as it takes. I don't know. There's so many cool people to talk to. This is our first time talking to someone who was super in love, got divorced, and is super in love and has been married again for 18 years. You're our first one of those.
Maxson, have you met anyone that you thought could be a soulmate since we've met?
Just categorically, no. I have not met anyone that I thought could be a soulmate. I'm very spigoty as well. I feel that I am currently running away from like the bank with a big sack full of money. And I'm not going to be like, there's like a penny on the ground. Like I believe I have, by hook or by crook, ended up with one of the most unbelievable people born in this era. I've met a lot of funny girls. she's so funny, da 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 da. But those people can be like, that can be my friend. They can be someone I admire from afar and say, hey, I really hope they have an amazing life. I have a lot of empathy for you, Isabel, having gone through the situation where you were all in with someone and they totally exited. But I also have empathy for that person because when I was in high school, I was completely in love with my high school girlfriend. And then some factors changed. Like I moved to Maine for 5 months and lived in the forest at this other school. And she and my girlfriend who was back in New York City and I like had almost no contact. And over the course of a few months, I developed an unbelievable like crush on this other person who was so different from the person I was dating in New York City. And I felt totally pulled in so many different directions and I had no idea what to do about it. Looking back, I think that I should have said, hello, my amazing high school girlfriend who's living in New York City. I don't think we should date anymore. And I think I should date this other person. I'm really sorry. And I didn't do that. And I ended up being in like an unbelievably tumultuous situation that made all three of us like really unhappy. No one was winning. I'm pretty sure I would not find myself in a situation like that because I'm committed to truthfulness. And it's like a huge part of how I live my life. Like I'm very truthful.
That's so beautiful.
Emily, hold on, before you go to the next thing. Have you met any people who are if I'm your, sixth soulmate, have you met a seventh or eighth soulmate that you either have said yes to that I don't know about or you have politely said no to in your heart?
I similarly feel like unbelievably proud of what we have and what we built, and nothing feels worth moving towards that would like challenge that. I have a lot of experience with like soulmate best friends in my life. Like I had a lot of really deep, close friendships growing up that they happen to be female. We weren't attracted to each other, but I do feel they're my soulmates in some way. So I've met people who I was telling you about that I had dinner with last night. I feel like a very immediate resonance with him. Maybe in some other universe that was a romantic thing, but in this one, I just like delighted to have this person in my life. I feel really like, safe having that, even if it's platonic, and I like delighted to have it be platonic.
Yeah. At the end of the season, you're like dating him, and I'm like dating my high school girlfriend and the girl at my school in Maine at the same time. It's like we had no idea what we were talking about. We're like, yeah, no, I think I got it.
It's beautiful. Have you ever met someone that you thought could have been one of your soulmates?
I mean, since I've met Peter?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Not really. Of course, there's like people that you're like, oh, you're terrific. You're a terrific person, but I just don't like, it's not relevant.
Yeah.
Have you had to like turn off a relationship because you thought that the other person was maybe getting more bought in?
No, it's like, it's not even an issue, I have to say. Tons of people have affairs. So what do I know? I could talk to someone else and be like, oh no, this person came in and it was like a big issue. And that happens all the time. And my book is called Happens Every Day. This happens every day. But for me, it's never been an issue. There's too much other stuff. I mean, also like, what? Why would I fuck anything up?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a great life and I can't imagine one person worth it to like hurt someone's feelings. And my kids, that's the other thing is like my kids, I wouldn't do that to my kids, even though they'd survive it and everything. It's like not worth it. So
your view is even if you bump into another soulmate, you can just turn the spigot off, stay with the person that you love. You got with them for good reasons. Stay the course.
Totally. Like Peter is 18 years later. I can spend the whole day with him and the next day and the next day and the next day. If I'm thinking about a day ahead, I'm like, first we're going to drive, then we're going to get there, we're going to have lunch, and then we're going to go to the movies. And I'm like, it's like the best. I'm so happy to be living my life with him, to just be doing the dailiness. And it's so much fun. And we have so much fun together. And we often say, I'm so happy I'm married to you. And I look at all my friends' husbands and I'm like, I'm so happy I'm married to him and not any of them, which is crazy. But that is hopeful.
That's so nice to hear.
Even if someone pointed and said, this is like, honestly, this person would have the best time with and the best sex and the best money and everything. And that guy, I'd be like, it's okay.
Because you're happy with what you got.
Yeah.
How did you know that you wanted to marry again and to Peter?
It's probably that thing. I just fell in love and seemed fun. And that's the other question I have for you guys. Doesn't it seem fun to get married? Not the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it seem fun to be married, or does it not?
I actually don't know how our life would materially change if we were to be
It does.
legally
For me,
married.
it did.
Okay, but how and what and like how come?
Feeling. The feeling. The feeling tone is different. Everybody says this, like if there's a weight to it, or it's like there's just an attitudinal change.
Yeah. What I'm hearing through all of this is like you being married to your ex did not prevent separation. It didn't prevent his heart opening up to someone else. It's like, do you like the brand of marriage? Is that something you want? It's not going to like save you or rescue you from any outcome. It's just, do you want to do this brand?
Ding, 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 ding. That's right. It's marriage doesn't save you from anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you want to do that or not? I guess you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm out of I've never been with someone except when I was younger that I wasn't married. So I don't really know what it is to just have a partner.
Yeah. I find this a little liberating. So it's like, just do the thing if you want to do the thing. Don't do the thing if you don't want to do the thing. There are lots of like bells and whistles around it that you can get trapped by or like fixate on.
It's like in some ways, this is the craziest. Also, I don't know is very soothing to me. And another two words that are very soothing to me. Who cares? Who cares? Like get married, don't get married. Just like, are you a good person? Do you love this person? Good, great. Like in some ways, it doesn't really matter. It certainly doesn't save you from anything.
Feels like the takeaways I'm getting from this conversation are 1, go on a trip, pressure test your dynamic in a stressful situation that's out of your home zone.
You guys have gone on trips, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Definitely gone on some very stressful trips. 2, like really invest in yourself and love yourself and continue that even like throughout your whole life. And that's just going to pay dividends and
Yes.
be better. It's a gift to the other person. It's a gift to the relationship. It's a gift to yourself. And get married if you want to get married. And it's not going to save you or protect you from any pain or sorrow. It's just like if that's the setup you want, do it. If it's not,
Yeah.
don't.
That's totally what I would want someone to take away from this. Completely.
Also, be prepared to meet other people you would be unbelievably compatible with and have a great life with, and just acknowledge that exists, acknowledge that is something that can pop up into your life, and I don't know, take control of it. Have a plan, have your spidey senses up and say, hey, am I going to choose the partnership to continue investing in the partnership, or am I going to like fall for any number of people that are out there?
A marriage therapist once said that you can put out flirtatious vibes or whatever with people and they don't do anything, but someone will. Like someone will be like, oh no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Hey, want to play? And then it's just like choices. It's just a lot about choices. Of course, I've felt vibes before of men. And I'm sure Peter has too. And I'm sure that everybody does. But it's just, what choice am I going to make? Maybe blowing up a marriage is like what some people are just going to do. And it's actually, maybe it's because I haven't had dinner. I just think when that happens and now this. Like, who knows? I don't know what's happening. I can sit here and talk to you guys at this, but I don't know what's going to happen that might fuck me up. I don't want anything to fuck my marriage up at all. And I don't think, but I don't know.
Before we wrap up, and we always ask this as our final question.
Oh, good.
Knowing what you know about us and after this conversation, do you think we, Emily and Maxson, should get married?
Yes, I totally do. That's
Ladies and gentlemen, we nailed it.
Yes, I do because we'll recap. Yes, because of everything that you said, especially those two answers about the other person. Those answers about other people tell me a lot about what kind of thinkers you are and how calm you are. I hear a lot of being able to listen to each other, being curious, like you're not scared to ask the other person if they've had attraction, and you're not scared to be honest about it. I think that's huge and valuable.
I love this interview. I thought it brought up some good conversations for us of like what to do if one of us is feeling like falling in love with someone else is possible or feasible, or we see that happening.
So is there anything that we should do to try and safeguard against these things in our own relationship? Any conversations we should have or strategies we should implement as we go forward in our own love story?
I think a big one for me is like talking about and making a plan for how we want to relate to each other if and when either of us falls in love with someone else.
Yeah.
You don't want it to happen. You don't expect it to. But I think having conversations beforehand that make you feel ready with some action items is really helpful.
Let's do the first little piece of the conversation now. Let's talk about what our plan is if we encounter new soulmates. If you and I both believe the Isabel theory of you have 20 soulmates in a life, you and I are one of them. We're going to continue on in our life and potentially meet people that we could fall in love with if we were to invest in that. What do we want to do? What would you like me to do if I meet someone that I have such a strong connection for?
Well, first of all, I think that it's a really beautiful thing and very human. And unfortunately, we live in a world where it's like shameful. You feel like you're doing something bad for having this resonance. And really, it's just like life is about connection and community and love. And I just don't want either of us to feel shame for those things. I think it's something to celebrate. I imagine there will be potential soulmates that feel really threatening and some that feel less threatening. And I think just being really open with each other throughout the process and giving the full picture, even if it's painful to the other person to hear. I could imagine having you connect with someone that feels like they would get in the way of your and my relationship, and that would be painful for me. And maybe that's someone that you don't invest time in. And maybe there's another person you connect with where you feel the capacity to transition it into a platonic connection, or the three of us could have a relationship that feels really safe and healthy. And that feels like a path forward. So I imagine it will be a little case by case, but I think just being hyper honest with each other throughout the process, even if it's hard to hear for the other person.
I think my preference would be that you probably just turn those off or turn those down. I'm not really stoked at this moment about having a three-way relationship or having another person be in our romantic dynamic, whether it's a man or a woman or whatever. I'm just not that interested in that. But I think we should be able to talk about it, and you should be able to voice it. And I should be able to voice it and bring to you, hey, this feels like something I'm kind of interested in. I don't know. We really don't know what we're doing, but at least we know that we can talk with each other about it. Yeah.
I totally agree. I wasn't saying bring them into a romantic dynamic, more like if they can be in our life as a friend and they're a friend to you too, or to me too, that feels safe, as long as the other person's being really respectful of the boundaries.
Yeah, I think the friend thing is good.
It's because to me, I've had platonic soulmates in my life, so that doesn't feel impossible.
Yeah. Let's see. Check back in 10 months and we're like screaming at each other about this. Who knows?
I feel like another important element is that I could bring something to you and we're in a place of strength and you really understand. And then maybe a week later, we're like a little more disconnected. I've had this experience with you, like hearing how you felt about someone and being like, that's cool. I'm so happy we're talking about this. This just makes me feel closer to you. And then a week later, I'm like PMSing and it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So I think also giving space for these things to shift depending on our connection and for the other person to not like amend the story to placate the other person's feelings.
Yeah. For the record, Emily is referring to a situation where I said I had a small crush on someone. And she was like, wow, yippee, I'm so glad to hear it. That's amazing. Good for you. You're really exploring your emotional landscape. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's not that big a deal. Then a week later, she's like, I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about her. I'm going crazy. And it was like, all of it was not necessary.
But I mean, to my first point, like I did feel really connected to you in the conversation and it didn't feel like a big deal. It's just sometimes going to feel like a big deal, sometimes not.
Yeah. All right, Emily, did this interview with Isabel push you closer to wanting to get legally married to me? Or did it push you further away from wanting to get legally married to me?
This one pushed me further. I think hearing her say, I like the brand of marriage. I love being married. I thought that was really freeing and simple. And I don't know if I love the brand. Do you want to be married and be husband and wife? Does that tickle something in you? And I don't think it tickles something in me in the way it does in her.
So it pushed you a little further away. It pushed me a little closer in that she got divorced and her life is great. And that makes me less scared of divorce. You know, we didn't get into this in the interview, but we chatted with her like when we weren't recording. And I asked her, Isabel, you got divorced. Was that a life ruiner for you? And her reaction was, no, not at all. My life is awesome. So many great things happened. And I'm really happy I was married to that person when I did. And it was emotionally painful to be done. But no, divorce was not a life ruiner at all. I don't know. I found that very heartening and makes me less scared to be in a formalized structure and legal structure, because at least for her, dissolving that structure was not that huge a deal. So I found myself being a little more stoked on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you can hear, we're getting closer to figuring this out, but there's more to go.
Yes. And in our next episode, you're going to hear a little bit of this.
I had somebody in an interview ask that, when was the last time that you had sex and what kind of contraception did you use, to try to test if they were really like sleeping together, which feels like not the government's business.
Should We Get Married is an original series by Easily Wowed and Bad Cooley Productions. This episode was created by me, Maxson Jarecki,
And me, Emily Carter.
and our producer, Ramoy Phillip.
Theme music is the song Fake Romantic by the band Melt. Logo and brand design by Madeline Vogue.
Sound design and mixing by Ramoy Phillip.
There are so many of you out there who are asking these exact same questions, and we don't all have to investigate marriage on our own. Subscribe to Should We Get Married and learn with us as we make our decision.
Thanks for coming on this ride with us. See you next time.